Passant par Paris pour y vider des bouteilles. Passant par Paris pour y vider des bouteilles. Un de mes amis m'a dit à l'oreille.
The items we have shown here are typical of the European fur trader and mixed over into the Métis or mixed blood people, and also used by the natives in many ways. So some of the items that we have are the Voyageur toque or cap, if you're from the U.S. This was worn by the Jolly Voyageurs as they sang. A lot of them would take their pipe and put it through the knitting, carry their pipe with them on their hat so it didn't get broken. And of course, the Voyageur had to use a sash, which was put around his middle and wrapped usually around twice, and some of the wider ones were folded in half, and they could carry items like a purse in there when it was wrapped around their middle. They also used the sash at times to help prevent hernias when they were carrying big loads with their 180-pound packs on their backs. And sometimes these were used over the head as a tump line. And they would use this to help carry the load back onto their packs. These are known as a flèche ceinture and have specific weavings in them. They were made mainly in the Assumption area and are called an Assumption sash. These are smaller leg garters that were used to hold their leggings up, wrapped around below the knees, and some of them wore them as headbands as well. So that was part of their clothing, along with a pair of pants and a Voyageur shirt or two. The Voyageurs were extremely into color. This would be a typical part of their payment would be a calico shirt, or in other choices were muslin. This is just a muslin fabric shirt as well. This is from the back side. This would probably be used more as a day-to-day shirt, and then as the Voyageurs paddled into a fort, they would stop a couple of miles away and clean up, put on their best shirt, their best sash and jewelry, and then get their best voices and come paddling into the fort, making a great show at 60 strokes per minute. The clothing that the Voyageurs wore and these other goods were part of their payment for signing a contract for the year or 3 years that they normally signed up for. So part of their payment was what they wore out during the year with their clothing. They also relied on the natives to supply them with moccasins and other leather goods and whatnot from different tan hides and whatnot. They also sewed a lot themselves as well when they had time. They had a long day. They normally started at 3 or 4 in the morning and would paddle till 7 or 8 and break for a breakfast break and have a quick breakfast, and then they would paddle all day, sometimes up to 16, 18 hours a day, including portaging 180-pound packs and carrying canoes and paddling at 50, 60 strokes per minute. The way that they kept track of the distances they traveled was one of the parts of the fur trade played a big portion of, and that was tobacco. Tobacco was brought in twists and in carottes, which were large bundles of tobacco that was wrapped. And the voyageurs stopped frequently, some say approximately every hour, but it depended on the distance and the type of water they were paddling and whatnot. They would stop and have a pipe break. And they judged distance by how many pipes they had smoked. So if they had a 12-pipe day, they knew that they had paddled and stopped for 12 pipes, so they knew roughly how difficult a stretch was or how far it was by that. This is a gage d'amour, which is a tobacco pouch with a little carrying place for the typical clay pipe. This is white clay or tavern pipes of the day. Some of them had up to 14-inch stems on them, but the voyageur normally had a shorter one until he broke it. And then they would carry this about their neck so it wouldn't get broken. The tobacco was a huge item in the fur trade, and Thompson especially used it as a sign of goodwill and whatnot when he met with native elders and native leaders, and he would give them different lengths of tobacco, and it was basically sold in inches or whatever of the twist of tobacco. There's another style of pipe that was used. This is a red clay pipe, and this is a reed that grows in the swamps or in the low areas, and this was just a stem reed that was put into the bowl of the pipe.